Today we're going to talk about just how great this motorcycle is for touring. Alright, so last year, you might recall, I shot down to Wales. Well, a couple of weekends ago, I did it again. Overnight stay, opted to take the bike. Brilliant ride. Right? Now, it really highlighted to me how great this bike is. You know, yes, we had a little niggle on the way back, and I'll come to that in a moment, but generally, this bike performs incredibly well. You know, it has truckloads of power. It's not the most high-powered motorcycle in the world. You don't really want that for touring, right? You want something that's consistent, it's pacey, that its torque's always there on demand when you want it. And, you know, especially when the terrain is varied. Right? The last thing you want is just be constantly hunting for gears. You know, put it into fifth, and I don't think I changed it for like 100 miles. Right? It just keeps going. Right? So it's brilliant. Right? It's frugal. I get 50 to the gallon, no problem. Right? A little more going to Wales and back. 50 going to work, 40 around town. Right? That's about where we're at. So one of the key things about this bike is its comfort, right? The ease of riding. Right? Yes, I've got a gel seat on here, which isn't the original. Right? So, you know, most people change seats, but I'm sure 22-year-old bike now, the original foam probably would have been, you know, well past it. But, you know, here we are. All right. Storage. Now, believe it or not, in here, it's big enough for a full size. And this is my Nolan, right? That's the size large. Only comes in two shell sizes, so that's the larger of the two. It's in the pannier, right? I've not got the top box on, but it's cavernous, right? So it's like a suitcase. We've got storage pockets on the front. Not for your chocolate. Hot pockets, I call these. One on the left side is lockable. Originally designed for the radio, I think. That was an option extra on this at the time. But, you know, it's great for tool, puncture repair kit, water for, you know, squirty bottle, which I use for the visor, in tissues and so on. If you have to clean your visor on the route. Lock, usual, right? Bent knee position, slightly forward in terms of the lean. It is not uncomfortable over distance at all. Right? So, you know, obviously the pan, you know, is feet forward, and the Harley is feet forward. Very different experience, but equally that's comfortable. And I have to wonder what that would be like, taking it to Wales and back. And we might get to that. Maybe this year, maybe next. We'll see. But for now, you know, distance-wise, I'm using this. One of the key things I think I really like about this bike is the wind protection. Right? And today is a blustery day, and I've been out this morning on it, you know, and it's really useful. But equally, it's a curse. Right? So I'm thinking about going back to the smaller screen, slightly narrower. Get rid of this C-bailing. Let me know what you think on that. Right? It doesn't look that great either, but highly worth it as a bike. Right? Can't recommend this enough. It just does what it's supposed to do, and that's testament to Honda, right? You know, it's well designed, it's incredibly reliable, and on the reliability front, let's talk about that little niggle. On the way back from Wales, it was hot. It was hot, and I was well over halfway, and going along a bit of stretch of two-lane highway, 70 mile an hour, and the bike slowly started to slow. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? You know, pull on the throttle a bit, goes a bit faster. Okay. Thought it was my imagination for a second, but no, wasn't long before it started to slow again. I'm thinking, what is going on? Turns out, the glue under the grip was getting soft, and the throttle tube underneath the grip and the spring tension was starting to twist back. So yeah, that was a bit of a crisis moment. So I had to think, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? I knew I didn't have any zip ties on me because I happened to leave my toolkit behind. You know, leaving in a rush, right? So it's just one of those things. It is what it is. But never mind. But anyway, cut the story short. yeah, I made sort of mental calculation in my mind as I was riding along, where am I going to go, and I've got to head for, you know, decent motorway services where there might be a petrol filling station where I might be able to buy some zip ties or whatever, try and secure this. So yeah, I made it to up past St. Neots, up to the A1, A14 junction, with a view that if I can fix this in a proper services car park, then I was just going to come back on the A14 from there. So a little off plan, but yeah, is what it is. But yeah, rolled into that car park and there was this crowd of bikers, right? So I pulled up next to them and asked very politely for a zip tie, and they all produced them, right? So, you know, there's a couple of zip ties on here, but I am going to be replacing these grips now. They're a bit shiny, in fairness, right? And you know, whilst they'd keep going, I don't see the value of trying to take them off, clean them, re-glue them, when I don't really like the fact that the OEM control is in the fairing behind the pocket, just behind the pocket on the front, down here. I'd much rather it was up here. So I've opted for Oxford Pro grips. So when they turn up in the next couple of days, we'll be fitting those and I'll do a video. But getting back to the overall, right? Beyond the grip issue, beyond the odd bulb failing, right, which is BAU, right, punctures and so on, right, this bike has been perfect, right, doesn't miss a beat. Highly recommended, highly recommended. Now, you can probably hear the traffic going past in the background. I had intended to stop on the side of the road this morning to record this, but it is blowing a gale, and the trees up there are swaying and so on, and I was a little concerned we weren't going to get any decent audio at all, so I opted to come back and just do it on the drive. But here we are, lots of cars, the usual. So that's it for today. Highly recommended. Get one if you want one. You won't regret it. For those who like their gadgets and modes and all the rest of it, you haven't got any of that. But it's old school, but it's heavy enough. Well, it doesn't break traction unless you're going a little crazy with your throttle, and in the wet. So ride sensibly. Who needs modes, right? That's it for today. Speak soon.